Hello everybody, welcome back to FarmerAnt Firearms here, and today we are going to be mounting a Vortex Crossfire 2. I believe that is a 3x3-9, yeah. We're going to be mounting that onto this Ruger American chambered in 17 HMR. I, again, will always say that I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing, but this is how I like to mount an optic. For today, we were in a pinch. I know they're not the best rings, but I accidentally ordered 30mm rings, and it's a 1-inch tube, but I had some Vortex 30mm rings here, but obviously they're not going to work for the 1-inch tube. So we wanted to test fire this while everybody's off work for the weekend, and we want to get something on there, so we're just going to use these. I mean, they should be fine. It's a 17 HMR. Also, for today, we'll be using our fix-it stick to get the torque numbers. This thing's awesome. And yeah, we might need some bits from here and some blue Loctite. And then, of course, the scope and the rail. So that's what we'll need. I do have a level here. I mean, it's huge. We're not going to be probably using that, but I just have it here for reference just in case. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to mount an optic. And yeah, beautiful Ruger American in 17 HMR. Okay, let's get to it. All right, so we did a little unboxing the other day when we got this. This was a Christmas present for my stepson. But so we have the Vortex Crossfire 2 here, and then Vortex sends you this here, and it's for lining up your scope if you don't have a level. So we might use this. Probably should to double check everything, but we're gonna hold on to that. And we'll get the scope out here. Take the caps off. Yeah, here we are as the Vortex. It is a 3-9. You can see. But I like these. I mean, they're not the most expensive optics, but they work. They're good. I have gifted my father one as a Christmas present years ago, and he put one on his 4570 and he loves it. So just gonna take our rings out here. I got the medium rings. Hopefully they'll be good. So you always want to check on the manufacturer's instructions on proper torque specs and everything. So we like to do everything to proper torque specs, and different companies have different torque specs. So as we can see right here, our side clamp screws are 30 inch-pounds. So we're going to tighten our side screws to 30 inch-pounds, which is crazy because I just put on a set of Badger Ordnance scope rings. As you can see here, I put these on my 4570 last night and I forgot to record, but it calls for 65 inch-pounds here. So there are some variations in what the manufacturer asks for. So what we're going to do is, what I like to do, first thing you got to do is just take these caps off because, well, you got to take these off to get your scope in. So we'll unscrew all these. I don't know if there's a correct or incorrect way or direction of, where your tightening is supposed to be. I just always do them on the same side. But since this is a bolt action and our bolt is over here, I'm just going to put the tightening screw on the left side. And that should, not that it's going to get in the way or anything, but that's just how I'm going to do it with this particular rifle. So what I like to do when I put the scope in the rails, first thing we have to do is set eye relief. So this particular scope, I think it's like probably like 3 inches of eye relief. I don't know. But so since this is for my stepson, I am going to have him look through it and just kind of see how far forward or back we should have the scope on the rail for his proper eye relief, because we don't want him choking up on it too hard, and we also don't want him all the way back here. You kind of want it somewhere in the center or wherever it's comfortable. So I want to add here that when you're setting your eye relief, you need to have the scope on the highest power. That way it gives you the least amount of eye relief, so when you're on your lowest power, the eye relief is more comfortable. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've actually lucked out, and this is perfect right where I have the rings placed for his eye relief. So what you should do, is I probably will do, is I'm going to take these off now and remember where they are. Now, let me just, before I do that, what I like to do is I like to have the scope. Now, I don't get perfect with it, but you want these to be in the center, in between the bells, because you don't want to crush anything if you don't have to. So if you get too close to the ends, you can start crushing things, and we don't want any of that. So try to get it as center as you can. That's where he likes it, so that's where we're going to tighten it up. I'm going to back these off, and we're going to put some blue Loctite on these and tighten them down to 30 inch-pounds. Okay, you turn it off. So I'm just getting a little bit of blue Loctite going on. Now, when you tighten these down, you want them to be pushed forward into the rail, because you see in the rail there's a little bit of play here. So you really want it forward. That's the proper spot for it to sit. All right, so now those are a little snug. And before we do our final torque, again, we'll just take our Optic and put it back in there. Make sure that we like the way that it sits still. We're on the same rails. We'll go ahead and double check the eye relief, and then we will go ahead and torque these down to 30 inch-pounds. And for that, I have Fix-It Stick. And if you guys haven't seen these are awesome. But it's got my little torque driver here. So 30 inch-pounds, we're going to go right in between the 25 and 35 here, and that's our line to know where we are. So pretty cool. So I'm going to find the bit here and torque these down. So this one. Nice. All right, and then that just sits in there, and then you torque it down. All right, so we're going to torque this down. Again, still push forward, and we're going to 30. So I'll try and do this so that you guys can see it. A little bit more there. Oh man, it's still going. So we're almost there. A little bit more on this guy. Right, almost there. Right there, 30. All right, now move to the front. Again, still forward. Right there. All right, now we have our bases locked on, and now we can move on to the caps. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and place the top caps on. We're not going to torque them down all the way, but I want to get them started enough so that they're on there, but enough so that I can still rotate the scope just a little bit. Now, these came with the Badger ordnance mounts I put on yesterday. I didn't have any oil on them or anything like that. You should probably wipe it off. I'm just going to leave it on. I don't know, but that's the way I'm going to do it. Also, I know I just kind of torque everything down in one shot, but this isn't a precision rifle. It's a 17 HMR we're going to use for squirrel hunting. So this is the way we're going to do it. But I am going to put some blue Loctite on these guys here. All right, and we're just gonna set this down on top here. And we're just gonna loosely get them in there. These aren't directional as far as I can tell, forward, back, but put them back on there. And we'll get these started. As you can see, I am just doing these in a crisscross pattern. It's always a good idea to do that, especially when it comes to this stuff. All right, so now they're in there, and we can see that the scope is still easily movable. So now what we're going to do, the way that I like to do it, because I don't have the little scope levels or anything like that, we're gonna do two things. We're gonna set up what I like to do. We're gonna do a plumb line. I think that's what it's called, plumb bob, plumb line, whatever. And we're going to look through our optic right at that, with this being as level as we can get it here, try to at least, and line up the crosshairs to that. Okay, my house is a wreck, basement is at least, but how I like to line up my scopes is I like to make a plumb, I think it's called a plumb bob. I just took some screwdriver bits and hung it from this string, so I know that's perfectly vertical. And then when we come over here, I just line up the crosshairs. So right now we have it pretty much spot on. So we're gonna start tightening it down, being very careful to try and not hit anything else and tilt anything else. We've got the gun sitting as level as we can with the tools that we have, and the scope as level as we can with the tools that we have. So we're gonna tighten everything down, double check everything. So when you tighten these down, very important at this step to crisscross. And we don't wanna just torque it all the way down. So we're gonna go like, I don't know, halfway, a few spins, and then move. And we'll just keep going around and around, because you want these to be as even as possible on both sides. So then we'll come over here and just get them pretty close to being torqued down all the way. But I can see I've got a lot more gap on this side than I do that side. So I actually might give these guys a little bit more. But so these, I can see I need a little bit more on this side than that side. Okay. And then we'll see how even we're looking. All right, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to switch over to our torque wrench and get that back. So we're going to go back to our scope ring paperwork here, and we're going to 16 inch-pounds on the top caps. Don't over tighten. 16 inch-pounds. All right. So now we got our fix-it stick here, same bit, 16 inch-pounds. So we're just going to go a hair over that 15 inch-pound line. Again, we'll be going in a crisscross pattern. I'm probably not going to torque these all the way just now. I'm just going to get them close. There we go. Now, scope is officially torqued down. So now what I like to do is just move everything back over. Well, no, actually, we can leave it here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look back through, reconfirm that we're still in line with our plumb line, whatever. And we're gonna set this up, and we're gonna put this on the wall and see what we're looking like on that. And yeah, so technically we're all done and said here. Rifle looks sweet, and I know Steps like can't wait to shoot it, and I can't wait to see him shoot it because this thing's gonna be sweet. But anyway, what I'm gonna do now is we're just gonna confirm everything looks good. I'm gonna take the fix-it stick. I'm gonna go over all these bolts again and just make sure that they're all torqued exactly where they need to be. And then, of course, now we're ready to test fire it. And once we test fire it, put a couple hundred rounds through it, we're gonna come back with the fix-it stick and just make sure that everything is still torqued down nice and tight. So that is how a average homeowner, non-professional, mounts an Optic. Okay, so got the Optic all squared away. We double checked our torque numbers or inch pounds on all the screws and everything on the bolts, and should be good to go. Ready to test fire. I know we're excited. Yeah, again, I'm not a professional. This is just the way that I like to do it. I'm always looking for more information, more ways to change my ways and to be better. Obviously, I know I should probably invest in some like levels that go on the scope and the rifle and get it all. That'd be really handy, but I don't have any right now. And yeah, this is the way we'll do it. So yeah, just let me know what else I can do to improve. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we will report back. We'll probably do some ammo testing with this and do a video on that. So thanks for watching. See ya.